Monday Night Raw was in Kansas City, Missouri last night, and it was the go-home show to Survivor Series. The show started off with Braun Strowman in the ring. He was pissed off. Stephanie McMahon comes out, and Braun doesn't want to be on the team, and Stephanie keeps convincing him to be on the team because she wants to destroy SmackDown, destroy Shane McMahon, and Braun wants some demand. He wants a match at Lesnar rematch. She said it's done. He wants a match at Corbin, done. So I think that's going to happen, but I don't think Raw's going to win because I think SmackDown's probably going to win. So I think all the stuff Strowman wants, he won't get, because I think he's eventually going to beat Brock. I think that's where they're going, even though they're pushing McIntyre. I think it's still going to be Strowman, and he's pissed off. He wants all this. He wants the match with Corbin to be like no holds barred. And she keeps saying done, and eventually Ronda Rousey comes out, and Ronda goes after Steph, and she tries to beat her up, but then Corbin comes out, and it's Corbin and Strowman are teasing something. But the best part was Ronda Rousey punches Baron Corbin in the face, drops him to the ground, which was great. And then they tease something, Strowman's going to attack him, and eventually nothing happens, and they're going to go with Strowman as part of the Raw team. So it is what it is. This dialogue for Strowman was terrible. He says he's going to neuter Baron Corbin. Just the dialogue was just absolutely terrible for Braun Strowman. So I'm expecting him to say "fee fo fi thumb" like Jack and the Beanstalk. Like that's what I think Vince McMahon sees Braun Strowman. And I hope like he changes his mind on that. So they show the two worst women, Nia Jax and Tamina, who I think they absolutely suck, walking in the ring. They're going to get a major push. I think they'll even put Alexa Bliss with them as like their manager. Like they're going to get a huge push. They're pushing the hell out of Nia Jax. Nia Jax, fuck you, Dwayne. Fuck you, The Rock. This is The Rock's fault. The Rock's mom is the reason these two pathetic excuses for wrestlers get pushed. I hate Nia. She's a fucking bum. She's terrible. Tamina's one of the worst wrestlers of all time. Absolute bullshit. Tamina's beating Ember Moon. Ember Moon's super over. She's getting a lot of momentum, but I don't know if it's sustainable. I don't think she has a personality that Becky Lynch has to survive losing all the time. I don't think the fans have had enough time to connect to her, but it's like she's so over. Like especially in the Evolution Battle Royal, she got really over. The fans got really behind her. So they might have a star with this girl. She has this cool gimmick. It's kind of like a vampire or werewolf kind of dark gimmick. I think that might be popular with this generation. So she had something going for her. It's just they beat her so many times. The stuff with Nia is just awful. Nia is horrible, and Tamina's a joke. She's the worst wrestler. So they're going to keep pushing them. They're going to be on the Raw team. It's absolute bullshit. Fuck you, Dwayne. That's your on The Rock. They show Corey Graves talking to Seth Rollins, and Dean shows up, and I didn't care for this thing. I'm bored to death. I think Dean's probably going to cost Seth the match at Nakamura. Or maybe not, because I don't think WWE wants to have Nakamura beat Rollins, but they show Dean Ambrose burning the Shield vest. I didn't care at all. I thought that segment sucked. They teased Kurt Angle's going to beat her, but then it's Dolph, and they whip into Angle. They had Finn Balor come on. They had Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor go back and forth, and McIntyre nails Balor right in the fucking head with the headbutt, dropping him down, and then eventually it's Balor and Rollins, and Balor wins. But McIntyre's going to get a major push. I don't know who it's going to be with McIntyre or Strowman, who's going to be Brock. I don't think Roman Reigns will be back in time. So I don't know who we're going to have beat Brock. I think Brock's going to WrestleMania as champion. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think he's going all the way to Mania. Once again, I think he loses to either Strowman or McIntyre. It depends who they want to go with. I'm not going to talk about stuff. They had Ronda Rousey come do an interview. Ronda says, she wants to go out. She's doing a good promo. She's kind of getting crying a bit. So, this whole thing was she's kind of a really passionate promo. Ronda Rousey is a very emotional person if you followed her during her UFC. And I followed Ronda Rousey all the way, since her rise and Strike Force. I used to watch that. I watched the UFC, her whole career, saw her whole career, skyrocket. And, of course, she lost. And then she's a very emotional person. You saw her on the Ellen Show. She's crying here. She's a crier. And her in the WWE. So I followed her for a while. I know this is a very, very emotional human being, if you know anything about Ronda Rousey. I didn't like the promos much, and it is what it was. They showed Ruby Riott backstage, and I thought this promo. Sorry, she was out in the ring. This was an Alexa Bliss promo. She does the thing where she's nice and she apologizes, and then she turns heel. They do this every time. They do it all the time with Alexa Bliss. They do it all the time with Carmella when she was champ. I'm so fucking sick of this. They do it all the time with the women. All they fucking do is this damn thing. Oh, I'm so nice, and then she turns heel. I thought the promo sucked. I like Ruby, but I don't know. I didn't like this promo. So it's Ruby against Natalya, and they beat up Natalya. Didn't really have a match. They just beat her ass, and Natalya's on the team too now, so I guess that's where we're going. So they're doing a tag team battle royal. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable win. They tried to do this early on the show, but I guess that's who those are. The captains are. The Survivor Series card. The elimination matches suck. Even the actual matches. I mean, Ronda and Becky's awesome, and Brock and AJ probably can be good, and Rollins Nakamura should be good if Nakamura puts forth an effort. It's just I think the actual Survivor Series elimination matches I'm not a big fan of, especially the woman. I think the woman match is fucking trash. I think that's a fucking joke. The shittiest one. You have Nia Jax, Tamina, Nia, two worst wrestlers on the Raw and SmackDown side. I don't think they took Charlotte out, so Charlotte's out. Charlotte's not going to be in the match. They officially removed her from the match. That was interesting that they decided to do that, but Charlotte's not going to be in the match, and yeah. So in the Raw, I don't know. I have very low expectations for that match. Mickie James is wrestling, and she's okay. Natalya, she's like nothing there. I think the women's match is going to suck. Paul Heyman comes out and he introduces Brock Lesnar. It's a tip. I'm so tired. I'm so sick of Lesnar and Heyman. It's the same old shit. It's a Heyman promo. Brock Lesnar jumps around, bounces around in the ring. Just Paul Heyman yelling, in this thick Jewish accent, yelling, and Brock Lesnar bouncing around in the ring, yada, yada, yada. I've seen this 2 million times. Until Jinder Mahal makes his way to the ring. He talks about he was actually supposed to have a match with Brock last year, but Brock wouldn't work with him. So I think Brock, if there's one good thing Brock's done in the last couple of years, it's he wouldn't work with Jinder Mahal, and they had to put the belt back on AJ because he didn't want to work with Jinder Mahal. That was actually awesome. It's Jinder, he wants his Ashanti with Brock. He beats the shit out of the Singers. I mean, he just kills these fucking guys. He fucking murders them. It's brutal. He's going to get someone killed. He just kills these guys. And Randy Orton couldn't even kill these guys this bad. It's just fucking horrible. They show Alexa Bliss talking to Stephanie backstage. So, I guess it's who's left. Who's going to be on the team? Probably Ruby Riott. I think Nia, Tamina. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I think Nia, Tamina, Ruby, Natalya, and Mickie. No Alicia Fox, but Mickie. So, but again, if you saw Alicia Fox's performance in an Evolution match, you'll see why she won't be on the show. Bobby Lashley Elias. I'm sorry. Leo Rush, I want him out. I wish he'd leave. I really wish he'd leave. So Alexa Bliss comes out finally. She's with Tamina and Nia and Mickie. And Natalia's on the team too, but she's not with them. And she talks about how she wants she wants to destroy SmackDown, same old shit. And then she needs someone who will risk friendship, so it's obviously Sasha and Bayley. So she makes Sasha and Bayley wrestle each other, and the match happens. It's Bayley and Sasha in the main event. They have a good match. They did a cool Bayley to belly spot from Bayley to Sasha on the apron. It looks sick. They're having a really good match, and then eventually they don't have a match because Alexa sends everyone in the ring and they beat the shit out of Bayley and Sasha. So it's a no contest. It was just to get them on the show. So Alexa wants to watch them beat each other up. She doesn't like either of them, and all of them beat down Bayley and Sasha, and they kick their ass. And then Alexa announces Ruby's on the team, so it's Ruby on the team. But then they cut backstage. It says that they did the same thing that's kind of like the Under Siege part last year. This was the best part of the show by far. They show Becky Lynch backstage putting the disarm on Ronda Rousey, and they're trying to help Ronda. She's beating down Ronda, and then Becky Lynch comes out wearing the SmackDown t-shirt, and then her theme music plays, and then boom, all the SmackDown women come out and they beat the shit out of the Raw one, except Alexa Bliss. It was so obvious. Alexa, as soon as the Raw SmackDown comes, she flies out of the ring. I mean, she just like goes down, like ducks right under the ropes, making sure she's not allowed to even be touched. That's a bad sign. David Meltzer reported on Sunday that Alexa Bliss has been suffering from multiple concussions, and they're being very cautious with her. It was interesting because I remember in the Evolution match, she actually did some contact. I think she threw Lita off the top rope. So she was allowed to do some contact, but what Dave Meltzer is saying, she is not allowed to do anything right now, and they're taking it very, very cautious. This is scary because this reminds me of Paige. Paige wasn't allowed to touch anything because of her concussion problems. They did the same thing with Daniel Bryan before he got cleared. He wasn't allowed to do anything. He wasn't allowed to touch anything. With Paige, when we knew she was retired, but she didn't announce until the night after WrestleMania when she became GM. She wasn't allowed to do anything. And I'm saying the same thing with Alexa Bliss. She is not allowed to be touched. I don't even know if it's a good idea for her to be outside, but she flew under those ropes so fucking fast. Like, no one's allowed to touch this girl. There's something up. Like, I hope she doesn't have to retire. I mean, her retiring wouldn't be horrible for her. It wouldn't be devastating. Because I think her best assets are her just talking. I mean, actually, you know what? We're never going to see that ring gear again. We're not going to get to see those booty shorts if she retires. That's going to be devastating. But her like, she's much better on the mic. I'd like seeing her more. I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of. I don't like her being champion because I never bought her as a champion. I like her as an act. I've never been a huge fan of her as a wrestler. Even though she's gorgeous, that's the best thing she has with her. But like, I've never been a huge fan of hers in the ring. I'm a huge fan, of her as a personality. I love that, but it wouldn't kill her. They'll keep her around for sure. And I think they can put her as a general manager, and I'd take her over Corbin any day. But with Alexa, if she has to retire, I really feel bad for her. It really sucks. And she's probably thinking to herself, she's 27. I don't know. I mean, I feel really bad for her if Alexa Bliss just can't wrestle anymore, but that's not a good sign. I don't know if she's going to be Daniel Bryan, in which she's going to try to get herself cleared. I don't know about this. That's not a good sign. Look, I'll just leave it at that. I don't know what's going on with her, but that's it's a bad sign. So they have the SmackDown beat up the Raw woman, and what happens is, I don't know who, it's either going to be Nia Jax or Dana Brooke is going to get the heat for this. Someone's going to get some shit. If it's Nia, nothing will happen. She'll get a slap on the wrist, because then she'll just go ride the company out to The Rock, and they'll have heat with The Rock. So she can do whatever she wants because of The Rock. So that's The Rock's fault. But if it was Dana Brooke, she might be in some trouble. So Becky Lynch, I don't know who it was. She had an interaction that was either Dana Brooke or Nia Jax, and Becky Lynch has her nose broken. Her nose is broken. You don't bleed like that with your nose broken. You can get hit on the bridge of the nose and have a bloody nose, but when you get hit like that, I've seen it in MMA fights, you are bleeding like crazy. Her nose is broken. She is bleeding like a stuffed pig, but it was awesome because as she's bleeding, she beats down everyone, and Ronda comes out and she beats the shit out of Ronda. She hits Ronda with the chair with the SmackDown woman watching. She escapes in the crowd. This was just awesome. Becky Lynch is just yelling. Her nose is bloody. She is a fucking superstar. Becky Lynch is the best thing in the whole company right now. She's the hottest act by far, without question. No ifs or ands or buts. And she's the hottest act, and she's also one of the hottest to look at, so that helps too. Becky Lynch is on fire right now. Just so fucking over. If they ruin this, which I'm sure they will, they should go fuck themselves. But Becky is just destroying everything. She is such a star. I love that visual with her yelling, with the bloody nose. I don't know, man. She feels like the female Conor McGregor with me right now. I don't like making that comparison, but I get that vibe with her. I think her and Conor. I think if Conor ever does something, it'd be awesome if he would do something with Becky. Becky is just fucking amazing. And I'll leave it at this. This is interesting. Charlotte Flair was helping Becky here. So Charlotte was there. Why? Why was Charlotte there? I thought she was leaving. And then it was interesting. They pulled Charlotte from the SmackDown match. So Charlotte's not on this match anymore. They pulled her. Also interesting, Bayley and Sasha Banks have been doing nothing for the last year, but they're in the main event of Raw, even though it's a no contest. But why were they just wasted that main event for no reason? Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley are the three best workers, besides Asuka, that are not involved in the elimination match. Why are none of them are involved? Becky and Ronda, Charlotte's with Becky now. I see something happening. There is something here. Where there is smoke, there is fire, and I see the 4 horsewoman.